Hi, thanks for tuning in. In this week's video, I want to look at 5 must-have gardening tools. So the first tools I want to look at are secateurs, and secateurs for most gardeners are absolutely essential. They're permanently in your pocket, and they're basically it's a pair of scissors that you can use in the garden. There's a wide range out there in terms of what you can get hold of, and a whole range of budgets. These are made by Felco, and Felco are the higher end, if you like, of what certainly all professionals use. I've had this pair now for about 15 years and they're still really, really good. The beauty of them is that you can send them away to have them restored essentially, or get the blades sharpened, but frankly if you just keep on top of that yourself, you can get through several seasons without having to do that. They range in price from sort of £35 upwards. I would suggest you try and get the upper end, because the more expensive they are, the easier they are to handle. But they're really, really good ones, and it's like anything in life. The cheaper ones that are different brands, which you can get for £5, will last like a £5 set of secateurs will do. And these are kind of a lifetime job, so if you can, go for these. So from one set of blades to another, this is a pair of garden shears, and for those of you who have watched my videos on making compost, you'll know that you might recognise these. Garden shears are brilliant for cutting hedges, chopping up material that goes into the compost heap. These again are quite a hefty pair. I use them an awful lot on the nursery, so it's it's pointless buying really cheap ones because they simply don't last. These are made by CK. And I got these about 3 or 4 years ago, about 40 odd pounds, but they're good. They're robust. They are quite heavy. The more money you spend, you can in fact get lighter weight ones, but it's worth with these. The better quality ones, you can actually get them sharpened as well. Really worth spending that bit of money extra every season, at the end of every season, to get them sharpened up. But these are good, and I'd generally be stuck without having a pair of these around. Now when it comes to digging, it's really worth having a good quality spade, and you don't have to go for something which is aesthetically that beautiful. And in fact, I'll be perfectly honest, I got hold of this when we took the site on here at the nursery. It sort of came with the nursery. I don't know which make it is, but the main thing about this spade is that this is a border spade. Border spades are significantly smaller than a conventional digging spade, and whilst they might look a bit silly when you're using them, particularly if you're 6 foot or so like I am, first time I used one of these my friends laughed at me, but I use this all the time because it's the sort of size that makes it really lends itself to digging holes for planting perennial gardens or cottage garden plants when you don't need a great big spade. And if your soil is quite hard to work like ours is, actually having a smaller spade is handy. The good thing about this is that whilst it's not wood and it is plastic, it's got a good quality hard solid plastic stem. The cheaper ones, they tend to bend, and I can't begin to tell you the number of spades and forks that I've got through in my career so far. So if you can go for a good solid one, that's brilliant. So that's a border spade. Okay, so we've done the spade. This is my beloved fork. This is a fork that's kind of like the Rolls Royce of the fork world. But as a professional gardener, you want something that's going to last the test of your career, if you like. So this is my 21st birthday present, and that was quite a few years ago now. This is a fork made by a company called Sneeboer, and Sneeboer are a Dutch firm. And what I really, really like about them is the length of the handle. They're actually significantly taller than a normal, if you like, fork or garden spade. So if you've got if you are of the taller end of the spectrum, these are great, and they do spades, they do forks, and because they are sort of hand forged, these aren't going anywhere. They don't bend, they don't snap. The only thing that can happen in time is the shaft itself can break, but you can get replacements for these. But they're they were about £100 or so. It sounds an awful lot, but considering I've had this for well over 15 years now, I think that's really good value for money. So if you can stretch to it, brilliant. But the same goes with all these tools. The more you spend, frankly, you know, the greater the lifespan you're going to get from the tool. And the last tool, which I think a lot of head gardeners would argue is the most important tool, is a hoe. In fact, it was several years ago at a garden in Scotland, a head gardener, a very well-known head gardener, said to me, if my staff can't actually master the use of a hoe, then they're no use to me. Hoes are just the most fundamentally useful tool when you're trying to control weeds in a small or big garden, and there's a lot of different designs out there. This is an ancient one, again, that I sort of inherited here on the nursery. It's very old, so it's kind of been worn and it's slightly sort of wafer thin, but it's very, very sharp. There's lots of different designs. I like this one. Again, it's got sort of a long shaft on it. It's wood, so it's nice to handle. But actually the best one that I've ever come across is this design. It looks a bit like a golf club, and again, this was kind of kicking about the site here when we came. But you can get hold of these. You can buy these new. They're nice and lightweight, and that sort of design and that fact that they are so small, in a sense, they're not loads of materials being used, really, really good and easy to use, and good for navigating around other plants. So hoes are absolutely crucial, so get hold of one if you haven't got one, and once you realise how good they are, you'll never look back. So that's a really good strong set of 5 garden tools. I'm going to be leaving links in the description below about where you can get hold of some of these. And for those of you at home who have a garden tool that you wouldn't be without, why not leave me a comment below and share with us what you use.